Double XL up in the pen, you can't shake that. All the way gassed up, full tank, man. Moving too quick, keep the cameras in the playback. Dang, so tell me how you feel with it. You put a lid on it, I ain't got no chill with it. This right here your problem, you gon' have to deal with it. Lay it on the line, high risk, that's the meal ticket. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. Hold our ground where we at, never fall back. No lies, no facts, we gon' stay right where we at. We ain't never fall back. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. And you can find me where I'm at. We ain't never fall back. We ain't never fall back. And you can find me where I'm at. We ain't never fall back. Been way down, never falter. Came with the hands out, get them off us. I'm 24/7 in the office. Pay attention cause I ain't repeating offers. Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of. Careful, you gon' get exactly what you asked for. Here for whatever you bring me, getting handled. I answer to no one, I don't need a hassle. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. Hold our ground where we at. We ain't never fall back. Hold our ground where we at. Never fall back.
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics. Officially licensed everything.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Fins Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
Myself on display, 1, 2, 3 a day. I'm on my way, on my way. I'ma have you on tiptoes, watching my diamond afterglow. I know you wanna take me home. I'm on my way, on my way.
I don't need your money, you can pay me in respect. Cause once I do it big, what's to follow is a check. I need 100 bags, nothing more, nothing less. And the ops feel away.
Good morning, Dolphin fans. This is Top of the Tailgate. I am your host, Ali the Persian. It is October 31st, Halloween. That is right, and that means trade deadline. I cannot wait. So let's get this party started. And with that, I would like to give you all a do. How's everybody doing? It is Halloween, October 31st. It is 6:05 a.m. in the morning. I cannot wait. We got an interesting show today. It's to be traded or not to be traded. That is the question, right? Should we make trades? Today is 4 p.m. Eastern deadline for the trade deadline, and there's a lot to talk about there. We'll be talking about Miami Dolphins. We got the Chiefs this week. We're going over the big pond across the sea, and we're going to be playing in Frankfurt, Germany. Sold out crowd. Pretty much one of the fastest selling out NFL games in history. Literally 1.5 million people in queue to get the tickets for this game. Sold out in less than 15 minutes. It was ridiculous, right? And I'm hearing just to find tickets from scalpers or anybody trying to sell them or anything is ridiculous as well. We'll get into it. With that being said, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Let's look at some of the other shows that we got around these parts here at the TFTG. You got El Capitan doing shows on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, even Sundays, calling the game, right? Check out a good one. Listening to him calling the game on Sunday was really entertaining, I got to tell you. And then don't forget, you can watch Coffee and a Cup of Color with and myself, Ali the Persian, here at Top of the Tailgate. We also do Late Night Exhale. And yes, Broken Takes is coming back. We've just been, dealing with other shows and other stuff that we have going on here right now. And don't forget about Shake Money and Lewis with the Drive Time and the Smoke Lounge show. Definitely check them out. Some great content. And then you got KP, talking about fantasy, making fantasies come true. Definitely watch his stuff. Really good fantasy football information. How they break down, what you should look for, what you should consider when picking your lineup and everything. So definitely check him out. And then don't forget about crypto. Great show last night with crypto. Got talking about different topics around the team that you wouldn't really normally talk about. Really interesting stuff. And then don't forget about the OG Tonks TMI Tuesdays. It's a great fun show for the soul. It's funny. It's real. It talks about topics that you wouldn't think about at all. Definitely check out Tonks TMI Tuesdays. Good stuff. But like I said, hit like and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell, right? If you love the content, consider becoming a member. We got 3 different memberships. We got Amigo, Familia, MVP. I want to say the lowest costing membership is like $2 or $3. So definitely check that out. That also being said, you get exclusive content, exclusive videos, and emojis and stuff you can banter with in the chat. So definitely consider that. And then if you want to donate to the channel, but you don't want necessarily want to become a member, we also accept Cash App, Venmo, Super Sticker, Super Chat. It's all appreciated. All that money you guys donate and everything, we really appreciate it. You don't have to, but when you do, all we do is we take that money and reinvest it in the channel to keep providing you content. That's all it's for. We're here for we're just here to provide this content and do something we love. We're really not banking off of it or anything like that. So we really appreciate all of you. We definitely do. Oh, all right. While you're hanging out with us, also check out some of the links below. Shout out to our affiliates. We got Fanatics, officially licensed everything, all like this, like the official draft hat that I'm wearing right now, to the jerseys, the sideline hats, all your official gear and flair. Check out Fanatics. Use the link below. It tells them that we sent you, right? They always got deals going on. They always got this code for expedited shipping or this code for up to 65% off. Definitely check them out, right? They got some amazing stuff over there. It's soon to be the home for your NFL trading cards if you're that person that's into that. That also being said, definitely check them out. They have not just Miami Dolphin and NFL stuff. They got all different sports, Major League Baseball, basketball, soccer, you name it, they got it. They got tons of everything, right? So check out Fanatics. With that being said, also check out Backroom Collection. Backroom Collection is your one-stop shop for some amazing customized canvas artwork that you can literally hang anywhere and everywhere, right? Place of business, your garage, maybe it's your centerpiece of your home. Who knows? Check them out. Like I said, it's canvas artwork for Miami Dolphins and other sports, and they do custom stuff too, so you can reach out to them. So check out Backroom Collection. And then if you need all that energy to keep up with all the shows we're doing, check out Dubby Energy Drink. It's all smash, no crash. You get supposedly you don't get that jittering or crashing like you normally do with some of the other energy products out there. In addition, it's infused with a lot more minerals and all natural vitamins and natural caffeine to help that's beneficial to the body and actually keeps you energized. So definitely check them out. If you don't trust me or take my word for it, talk to Shake Money. He does videos and reviews on this stuff. He swears behind it. He says the flavors are really good. So check out Dubby Energy Drink. And if you want to save 10% off there or Backroom Collection, use code TFTG at checkout. Also check out TFTGnetwork.com, your one-stop shop for TFTG everything. TFTGnetwork.com has an amazing store full of different merchandise or products that inspired by you, the people that are on the panel, the people that are in the chat, the people that are members, everybody that's been a part of TFTG or been on the show or we've talked to you in the chat, you guys inspired everything that's in that store. So definitely check that out. We have a new virtual store coming out that is amazing. I cannot wait to see that hit the shelf. In addition to that, you can, keep up with us on Twitter there. You can read articles that we're going to be putting out, different stuff. It's a work in progress. We're constantly adding to it more and more. So it's going to be I don't think it's ever going to be done because we're going to think of the next greatest idea to throw on there as well. So check that out, tftgnetwork.com. And yeah, check out the links below. Links below, definitely. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I see quite a few people here already. You got Trucker Sean going ahead and make sure he's the first one up in here. Daniel Berry Sports, yo, how's it going? Mansa Chill, Heather Long, good morning. Happy Halloween, that's right. Shekel, sup Fin fans, how's it going? Duke Tomlinson, how's it going? Jay, let's see, anybody else? And I think that's it for now. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Let's get on with this stuff, right? Color's not here, unfortunately. I did message him. I'm not sure if he's sleeping in or what. That's fine. We'll keep it moving. But that being said, why do they have that? There we go. Drinking my coffee, definitely. Just your normal medium breakfast roast. Nothing special. But yeah, if Color was here, I'd be doing the full review. What in the world, right? Well, what in the world? Let's see what we got. Some trade rumors as of recently. This one that was put out, I'm going to say a little bit more than 24 hours ago. So Cleveland Browns have been exploring edge market, according to reports. People to watch out for, they're saying, is Emmanuel Ogbah and Derek Barnett are two names to watch. These guys have been rumored to possibly being part of some type of trade, not to each other's respective team, not necessarily to the Cleveland Browns, but supposedly they've been shopped around. So that's something to think about. That other trade rumors that have come about. So the Bears cornerback Jalen Johnson has requested a trade. One of the NFL's most talented young cornerbacks may play for a new team in the second half of the season. According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, the Chicago Bears granted Jalen Johnson permission to seek a trade at his request after two sides failed to reach an agreement on a new deal. In 6 games, Johnson has allowed 47.8 passer rating without giving up a touchdown in coverage. He's ascending 24-year-old boundary cornerback who would likely cost at least a second-round pick on the trade market. Any team that shows interest in Johnson will likely need to agree on an extension with him as part of the transaction. That's kind of interesting. I don't think we're really in the market for a corner, but that is something to think about. And then you got Arizona's Cardinals have stated that they are not shopping Kyler Murray. NFL teams on the lookout for an available starting quarterback might not get far in talks for Arizona Cardinals signal caller Kyle Murray. Per The Athletic, Diana Rossini, Arizona isn't shopping Murray, and the team plans to have him on the backfield on the backfield in the near future. Sorry, the way it was written was kind of weird. Though Murray isn't on the trade block, the Cardinals may be persuaded to move him in a blockbuster deal, but the scenario seems unlikely with Murray's massive contract and a strong class of quarterbacks eligible for the 2024 draft. Let's see. We have new coach. New coach is the new coach. I don't know. I still think that you could see Arizona move off of Kyler Murray. Why they wouldn't trade him, I don't know. But who would want to trade for him? That contract is really up there. I don't really know if there's a team that would want him, to be honest. So maybe they're just saying that they're not interested in trading because they're trying to keep face. They already know nobody really wants him. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys thought? Put that in the chat. We'll talk about that here in a moment. Let's keep it moving through these rumors, though. Other rumors have Tennessee Titans don't plan to move Derrick Henry before the deadline. I don't know if it's that they won't don't plan on it. I think it's more so that they don't have any trade partner that's willing to give up a deal that they really want for Henry. And he'll end up becoming a free agent next season. So what's the point of giving up massive amount of draft capital? Tennessee Titans don't plan to move. All of a sudden, the Tennessee Titans may have hope for their future with rookie quarterback Will Levis shining in the NFL debut. And if you didn't see, I think he threw like 4 touchdowns. It was ridiculous, which may impact the way the team approaches the trade deadline. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Titans told Henry that they don't intend to trade him, yet the NFL insider didn't completely rule out the possibility. Per Fox Sports, Jay Glazer, Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens, and Green Bay Packers are interested in acquiring a running back. Perhaps one of those teams make a strong offer for Henry that makes the Titans consider the deal. So I've heard things all over the place about a possible Henry deal. I've heard things that, oh, they want something that's around a second round pick or higher than a second round pick. Then I've heard they want multiple mid-round picks. I'm not sure what Tennessee Titans want. I'm not sure if they, this is where I'm at with it. Yes, they had a great debut, one first-grade debut by their rookie quarterback. Does Derrick Henry want to re-sign with you guys under a rookie quarterback, or does he want to go play for a winner for once? That's a good question. There's a lot of different questions I would ask in that case. I don't know. I don't think Tennessee will get a Christian McCaffrey deal at all. Maybe it'll take like a 4th and a 5th, maybe something along that line. Maybe a 3rd round pick. Would he cost the 2nd round? I don't know. I don't think we would do something like that. Speaking of rumors, and again, this is a rumor, supposedly the Miami Dolphins are still considering bringing in a running back. We did see Leonard Fournette sign with the Bills yesterday, so that will be interesting to see what happens. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let's keep it moving, though. Carolina Panthers unlikely to trade Brian Burns. 2 players on trade block. As Carolina Panthers edge rusher Brian Burns looks to sign a new deal, the team doesn't seem interested in trading him. Teams are being told Carolina is unwilling to trade Brian Burns. According to CBS Sports, Jonathan Jones wrote in his latest trade rumors column, as 2-time Pro Bowler, Burns has been a key playmaker on the Panthers defensive line. In 7 games this season, he's recorded 21 tackles, 8 for loss, 5 sacks, and 11 pressures. In his piece, Jonathan mentioned that Panthers have 2 former second-round picks in cornerback Dante Jackson and Terrace Marshall on the trade block. So that's what they're looking to trade. There's been rumors that we've been interested in Burns. I don't think we get an edge rusher. I don't think it happens. I'm more inclined for a middle linebacker. That's where I'm at. Put that in the chat. We'll talk about that after I'm done reading these rumors that are here. And there's only 2 more left, so we're going to keep it moving. Washington Commanders unlikely to initiate fire sale as Chase Young, Montez Sweat generate interest. Even though the Washington Commanders have trended in the wrong direction with 5 losses in their last 6 games, ESPN's John Keim, or I think that's how you say it, tapped into a source who doesn't believe the team will take an aggressive sell approach before the deadline. It's unlikely that Washington has a fire sale, one source said. However, there have been multiple discussions with teams regarding players, especially defensive ends Montez Sweat and Chase Young. They're free agents after the season, and it's possible Washington will not retain both players. Washington may not want to pay both Young and Sweat, but the Commanders could retain several key starters as they identify cornerstone players ahead of the probable rebuild. Denver Broncos have a good offer for Jerry Jeudy. Team unwilling to take the deal. That's interesting. Going back to the offseason, Denver Broncos wide receiver Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton have generated a ton of trade buzz, but they're productive playmakers in the team's passing attack. Sutton leads the Broncos across most receiving categories. Jerry Jeudy scored his first touchdown of the season in Week 8 win over the Kansas City Chiefs. On Saturday, Pro Bowl talks Mike Pro Bowl. Yeah, can't even talk this morning. On Saturday, Pro Football Talks Mike Florio noted that the Broncos have a good offer for Jerry Jeudy, and they don't like the offer. Have a good offer, but they don't like the offer. That's interesting. This past offseason, the Broncos wanted a first-round pick for Jerry Jeudy and a second-rounder for Sutton, per 9 News, Mike Kliss. But it's unclear if they've dropped their asking price. Because of rookie second-round wideout Marvin Mims' big play contribution, 11 receptions, 246 yards, and a touchdown, Denver may accept a trade proposal that fits what it wants in return, but the front office doesn't seem eager to ship out one of the starting receivers. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So let's talk about it. Trade rumors, you've heard them, you saw what they are. We know what we all need. I'm still slamming the table that we need a middle linebacker. That's where I'm at. I know some of you are really concerned about the O-line, and that's respectful. I definitely understand why. There's been some news going around. There's rumors that we might get, Teron Armstead back, this week. Is that possible? I don't know. I don't know if that's possible. That was something that got tweeted. It came on my Twitter feed. Let's see. There's been rumors that we might look to bring somebody in as well. There's several players that you could possibly go get for a trade. Some of those players, just so you're aware, I'll give you some names that I've been told in the past. I don't know if this is still accurate. Some of this might be old information. But there's, Broncos have a left tackle that, could be available for trade. There's also offensive linemen like Joseph Noteboom, Yosh Nijam, or Kevin Beecham. He's from the Cardinals. That's a guy to look at. Even the Chiefs have Lucas Niang. That's possible. You could possibly get in the trade, maybe. I know we're looking primarily for guard. So you have guys like Cody Whitehair, Ezra Cleveland. Let's see. You even got Jack Driscoll, Ben Barch. These are names that have been rumored to be possibly in a trade option for, not necessarily for us, but for any team. These are supposedly people that are on the trade block. We'll find out. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about any of these rumors? Let's see what you guys got up in here. There's a lot going on. What's up, Ryan AP? How you doing? Yeah, I do agree. I do think we trade Agba. I think that's the key person that I think is gonna be subtracted from the team. What do we get for him? That's a better question. Defensive tackle is a position that we're kind of light on as well. You only got the three big names. You got Wilkins, Raekwon Davis, and then you got Seiler. Who do you have after that? Brandon Peely? Brandon Peely, I like him, but I think we need better production there too. Not necessarily, we don't necessarily need a start. We just need a solid nose tackle, to be honest. And you have the other guys just rotate in and out. That's what I think. Quay Walker, okay, inside linebacker. Shackle says reunite Jerry Judy and Tua. I don't think it happens. Let alone, do we really need him? You guys were complaining we brought in Chase Claypool for next to nothing. You know, just gonna point that out there. Tight end and offensive lineman. I like that. Sheldon Harris says Armstead can't come back for 20 more days. Let me look that up. How many games has Armstead missed? I think he could miss 4 games before he could come back. And let me pull up who posted that tweet that I saw yesterday. Yeah, Chris Perkins posted yesterday, 11 hours ago. Dolphins have a chance to get Teron Armstead back for Chiefs game. So let me look up Teron Armstead. Let's see if there's any news for him. Yeah, this was reported about by the Sun Sentinel 13 hours ago. Oh, NBC reported Teron Armstead will travel to Germany, could return this week. Yes. That would be some good reinforcement that we do need. The Dolphins may be getting left tackle Teron Armstead back for their Week 9 game against the Chiefs. Armstead has been on the injury reserve for the last 4 weeks, so he is eligible to return to action this week. Head coach Mike McDaniel said on Monday's press conference that Armstead will travel with the team to Germany and be evaluated throughout the week before the team decides whether or not to activate him for Sunday's game. Kendall Lamb has been starting in Armstead's place in recent weeks. The Dolphins were also playing backups at left guard, center, and their start their Week 8 game against the Patriots, and right guard Robert Hunt left with hamstring injury during the week. McDaniel said on Monday that Hunt is day-to-day, so Armstead won't be the only injured lineman to monitor this week. So, yes, Armstead is a possibility. Forrest Lamp. That might be a guy we can look into. Let's see what he looks like here. There we go. Forrest Lamp, 295 pounds. He played guard. Who's his current team? I think he's with the Saints, or was with the Saints, possibly. Ryan AP, I like your thought about Linval Joseph. That's possible. So, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that it's too early to bring Armstead back? I know Ryan feels that he has to be 91% healthy before you bring this guy back. That's true. And also, you can question how unhealthy was he? Was it just some lingering ankle injury that they just didn't want to deal with? Maybe he could have managed it. Maybe he couldn't. I don't know. What do you guys think? Lael Collins is intriguing, Ryan AP. I agree with that. However, I've heard some rumors. I've heard that he just not interested in playing, or at least putting the work in. Plus, with our offensive line unit, in our scheme, from what I understand, um, it's not very. How do I put it? It's not so easy that you can just pick it up. It is very involved. And with that being said, you have to, keep an open mind, and it is a lot to learn. So it's not something that you can just throw yourself into and be, oh, I can do this. No, that's not how that works. So I don't know if he's the type of guy you'd want for the position. And it makes sense why we didn't go all out to try to re-sign him or sign him at the time, let alone sign him, you know, or try to bring him in at this point, to be honest. Yeah, he did make the best O line there, but their O line is a lot different. Even McDaniel has stated that what they expect from their offensive linemen here is a lot different than the traditional offensive linemen anywhere else. There's a lot to learn regarding this offensive scheme, and it starts off with the language, where to line up, where to go, what they ask their centers and guards to do, and whatnot. It's a lot different from what I heard. Vader's daddy. I like that name, bro. I really do. Love it. Um, but yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's keep it moving. We have, let's see, it's 33. We're 33 minutes in. It's 6:34 currently AM. Let's go to cause for cleats. Right? We'll come back to the Dolphins talk here in a moment. So today's cause for cleats, just so you're aware, is called the defensive line. You can go to thedefensiveline.org. And if you didn't know, the defensive line is a organization that has to do with Ella Elizabeth Thomas. She died by suicide at the age of 24. She was the bright light in any room, bold, funny, charming, feisty, brilliant woman, and beautiful. Deeply loved and sorely missed. Ella's loss has led Thomas' family to create defensive line to help build a world in which no young person of color dies of suicide. The difficult and painful parts of life that make us all human are ultimately what also connect us. We do not need to be mental health experts in order to be experts in our own stories and our mental health. Telling our truth through shared experiences can help reduce stigma and create connections that save young lives. Together, we can protect each other, guard each other's hearts. True strength lies in vulnerability and an open heart. Ella's legacy is ordinary people reaching out in love and compassion. They invite everyone to join us. And with that being said, I'm going to share a quick video. Let me do that. Okay. And
like looking back on everything, I'm like always like, how did I miss this? How like I go through every day and I'm like, how did I miss like my sister like being so sad? I was over here playing football and she was fighting for her life and I can't speak right now. Gosh. I'm sorry.
You want to take a couple minutes?
Ella Elizabeth Thomas was born on April 19, 1993. Named after singer Ella Fitzgerald, she was a fighter from the beginning.
She was 9 weeks premature. They said if she lived, she would be very sick and only had a 50% chance of survival and probably would not be well. And she was well.
And then little brother Solomon comes along. And what was her reaction to having a sibling?
She loved it.
She loved it.
Very first thing, baby, sit up. And then she just started singing them Twinkle, Twinkle at the top of her lungs.
She was a great big sister.
She was like kind of my caretaker. When we were together, we always had the best time ever. One of our favorite things was like kind of watch movies. We go play basketball, kind of chill and just talk about life. When you're around her, you felt loved. You felt some sort of this energy around you that lit up the room.
The Thomas family appeared to be happy, but things aren't always what they seem. By the time Ella reached high school, she was struggling.
She was off the charts ADD, played basketball, and that was wonderful for her and helped keep her focused. But school was hard and social groups were hard.
How did those issues present themselves?
Sometimes just time in bed, just being sad, I guess.
In 2011, Ella began her freshman year at the University of Arkansas, but dropped out 2 years later.
She came out and told us that she was fighting depression. It was just kind of this sadness kind of just lived in her and she couldn't get out of it. It was like she was trying to run from it and it kept catching her.
It wasn't until 2015 that Ella revealed the traumatic event that changed her life forever. During her sophomore year of college, while attending a fraternity party, Ella was raped.
You just want to protect your baby girl, and I wasn't able to protect her and take the pain away. And it's something I'll never forget as long as I live.
Kind of started making sense because from there on, that's kind of when everything changed with Ella. She couldn't sleep. Her anxiety was crazy. She'd just shake sometimes, nightmares, PTSD, couldn't be happy, blamed herself. She wanted to let it go, but she couldn't escape it.
In 2017, Ella moved back home and was alongside her little brother for the biggest night of his football career.
With the third pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Solomon Thomas.
As a family, it was the most beautiful night. We were all so happy together. Ella was so happy for her brother.
So beautiful.
Beaming with pride, Ella was a fixture at Levi Stadium during Solomon's rookie season. The Thomas family spent September through December cheering on number 94.
It seemed like a wonderful time, and now we know it was a sacred time. Because after that, everything unraveled, and it was bizarre.
After Christmas, her moods were switching really bad. I would always ask why are you so sad? Or why are you continuing to be so sad? And she's like, I just can't be happy. She's like, it's not there.
On January 23rd, 2018, Ella Elizabeth Thomas took her own life. She was 24 years old.
I feel my heart hurting. It just hurts. All the time it feels like it's being squeezed.
Every day I pray, thank God for the 24 years we had with Ella. I wish it could have been a whole lot more. But she was a fighter, but she at least made 24 years. She wasn't supposed to make it. past 6 months. But I still miss her every day.
How are you doing?
It really depends on the day. Some days I see the light at the end of the tunnel. Some days
In June, just 5 months after Ella took her life, the Thomas family participated in the Out of the Darkness Walk in Dallas, a nationwide fundraising event put on by the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Every step, a step towards healing, in memory of Ella.
When Solomon first asked us about this interview, he said, "Do you want to do it?" And I said, "No, I don't want to do it." I said, "I'll do it." Because if it helps one person, it's not going to get better by not talking. So we have to talk about it.
What do you think she'd be saying to you right now?
Get your shit together, Mom. Sorry.
No, she would say, toughen up. Go out and do something good. Make someone better. Don't be miserable. Live. And I think going out and trying to make a difference and help others gives us a purpose.
Everyone's going through something that you don't know about. Depression, anxiety, whatever you're going through, and it needs to be shown. I feel like this is my way to honor her, to raise awareness and try to help other people's lives and other families.
All right. So again, that was a heartfelt story about Solomon Thomas and his sister and why he plays and everything, and how their organization has started. If you want more information about the defensive line, go to thedefensiveline.org. Definitely there's more information about some of the things that they do, who they impact, how you can donate, and everything. Just so you're aware, more about depression and things, because this is something that it doesn't just affect young people; it affects people of all ages, races, colors. Does it? Everything. It does not matter, male, female. It doesn't matter. Anybody could have it. We could have it, and you may not even know. But suicide is the second leading cause of death for young people ages 10 through 34. Suicide rates in the U.S. have increased by 46% between 2000 and 2019, from 9.1% to 13.3% among people ages 10 to 34 years of age. Suicide among young Black youth is rising at twice the rate of all other racial and ethnic groups. And suicide among American Indian, and Alaskan Native youth ages 10 to 24 is 2.5 times the rate of any other racial or ethnic group. Just so you're aware. What the defensive line pursues its mission by focusing on goals that promote communication and connection around suicide prevention, educating adults about youth suicides and their unique opportunities for connection and support with the students in their care, increasing language and conversation skills to talk about suicide and mental health, creating safe places for young people to be honest and vulnerable with each other and the adults that serve them, improving systemic approaches within schools to better prevent suicide and improve access to resources. These are just some of the different things and ways that they try to help people within those age groups, and trying to find a world where suicide doesn't exist. Like I said before, mental illness affects everybody. Nobody is immune to it. it affects people in different ways, and specifically younger people. You know what I mean? So if you know somebody that could really benefit to some of the things that they provide, or want to share this information along, again, they can go to thedefensiveline.org. All right. And that is your TFTG cause for cleats. I just think it's a heartfelt story about, his sister and, what they went through and what they're trying to accomplish and everything. And it's sad. It really is. And if you guys know of a cause for cleat that you'd like me to talk about, please put it in the comments below. Not in the chat, because I won't be able to see that after the show. But the comments under this video, definitely leave it there. And we'll check it out. And someone will tell me, and we'll definitely talk about it on the next Top of the Tailgate. All right. So make sure you hit like and subscribe. We're gonna get into some football here. We're going on we got 7:45. Currently, just so you're aware of the weather report. This is your TFTG network weather report. It is currently 76 degrees. Today's high of 87. And it's about 89% humidity. There's only a slight 2% chance of rain. It's going to be mostly sunny this morning, partly cloudy in the afternoon. In the evening, that chance of rain increases to about 20%. So you can probably expect rain at that point. But you shouldn't see very much rain for the most part until the evening, just so you're aware. Wind is coming at 5 miles per hour. Trying to see if there's anything else. No, that's about it for the weather report in Miami. Let's keep it going. Now we're gonna time for some football. Yeah, let's talk about some stuff. How's all the people that are in the chat now? 72 undefeated. I see you. V21. How you doing? Marino's Goat. How you doing? Adam Sadowski, saw you at the game, bro. Yeah, definitely a good time. If anybody was at the game, you got to see me and Shake Money were there. Shout out to some of the other folk that was there as well. Larry K. Let's see here. Actually, Miss Pamela was there. It was some good times. Where is it? There was something I wanted to show you guys. Oh, that's probably why. Can't save it. I was gonna share some pictures for you guys. And actually, I could. Let me do this. I can do it this way. Here we go. Here's a picture of me in my Michael Myers mask for the game. I told people and showed people this mask. Yes, I wore it during the whole game. That was kind of fun. You got Adam Sadowski. Shout out to you, bro. Larry K in the middle. That man's a lot taller in person. Shake Money and Pam. Good times at the game. Definitely good times. So shout out to them. What was that? Stop sharing. So if you guys were there, shout out to y'all. Definitely come out to the game. Anytime you have a chance to come to a Miami Dolphins game, one of the best times you'll have. Great fun, tailgating, great food, great atmosphere. It's a lot of fun. It literally is a lot of fun. So, all right. So Jay says X is jealous of Ramsey getting the attention. Trust me, he is back. We'll see. I will say that having Ramsey on the field definitely made a difference in the defense. That's something we'll get into this week. We'll be talking a lot about that. Having X and Ramsey, I think, is going to be a huge difference. I still think the middle inside linebacker is definitely a key area that we need to address before the trade deadline. And maybe offensive lineman. Those are the two positions mostly. Running back is kind of, sort of. I've heard we're still interested in running backs, but I don't know. I don't know about that. I still think it is a weak link, but it's something we can survive with, as long as the other positions are still, addressed. Having a feeling our defense will have to win the game. Our defense will need to play strong. I'm not gonna lie, but we did something that the Kansas City Chiefs couldn't do, and that was beating beating the Denver Broncos. I still can't get over that the Chiefs lost to the Broncos. That was ridiculous. Yeah, we do need a big game. We need a big game from everybody. We need a big game from everybody. Let's just be real. So, that being said, and also before we get into Miami Dolphin news, because we're going to be talking about that mostly here, I thought it was hilarious and it was very fitting that after the not Cleveland, what am I saying? After the Denver Broncos beat the Chiefs, they were playing Taylor Swift music in the stadium. I thought that was funny. I don't know. You talk about trolling. So I thought that was funny. All right, let's talk about it. And we're going to be talking about a couple different things. First of all, let's talk about this. Tyreek Hill's thoughts on Kansas City. Miami Dolphins All-Pro wide receiver Tyreek Hill is heading into his first matchup against his former team. In the aftermath of the Miami Dolphins' victory against the New England Patriots on Sunday, Tyreek Hill naturally was asked about the next opponents on the schedule. It's Kansas City Chiefs week, and Hill's first game against his former team will stand as likely the biggest storyline in the matchup between the two AFC powerhouses in Germany, with a 9:30 a.m. Eastern kickoff Sunday. Yes, so Sunday's kickoff. Remember, everybody, set your alarm clocks to be super early. It's 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. NFL Network. All right, so just point that out there. I'm looking forward to it, Hill said after the Dolphins' 13-17 victory against New England. Obviously, we're playing against the Chiefs. It's going to be a fun game to see some old faces, and yeah, just get after it. Talk trash to my old quarterback. Just so you know, this is by Alan Pupar on Sports Illustrated, just so you know. Hill's old quarterback, of course, is Patrick Mahomes, and he's played with him from 2017 until the Dolphins acquired him in a blockbuster trade in March of 2022. Overall, Hill spent 6 seasons with the Chiefs, earning Pro Bowl accolades in every one of them, a streak he continued with the Dolphins last season and is sure to continue in the 2023 bearing unforeseen circumstances in the second half of the season. Hill, though, says he's a better player now than he was during his time with the Chiefs. I just know a whole lot more now, Hill said. Obviously, when you come into the league, you're trying to find where you fit and understand how the game is played. But now I've been able to learn from other veterans in the past locker room that I was in and apply it here. I know a whole lot more, whether it's doing stuff off the field or just being in the locker room with the guys, trying to be a leader in that aspect. I'm light years ahead of where I was back then. And you know what? Everything happens for a reason. So I'm here. So here I am today. Tyreek Hill's new look. Hill finished with 112 receiving yards against New England, including a 42-yard touchdown to set a new Super Bowl era record for the most receiving yards through the first 8 games, and maintain his pace to reach 2,000 receiving yards in a season, something that's never been done. Yeah, man, it feels great, he said. God is great. I've been calling my shot since I came in the league. A lot of people doubted me, saying I couldn't do this and do that, but it's all about believing in yourself. That's the one thing that my mom and dad always taught me. Here I am today. I'm very blessed, very thankful to be in this position, and no greater day to do it. I have my kids here today, so no greater day to do it. Hill finished with a career high 1,710 yards last season, and he's currently on pace for 2,154 yards. He's also on pace to break his single season mark for targets with which he set last year. The Chiefs traded Hill because of financial considerations, because they simply couldn't afford him, along with other high-priced players such as defensive lineman Chris Jones. Given the Chiefs' wide receiver issues, which surfaced again in their 21-9 upset loss against the Denver Broncos on Sunday, one can't help but wonder whether Kansas City would make the same trade again. Again, given the Chiefs' wide receiver issues, which surfaced again in a 21-9 upset loss against the Denver Broncos on Sunday, one can't help but wonder whether Kansas City would make the same trade again. Again, I'm going to say that they lost to the Denver Broncos. Yes, I'm repeating it because I still can't believe it, right? I had Kansas City whooping the Broncos. I don't know what happened. I don't know. In given retrospect of who our corners are, I'm going to tell you that our corners and our safety is better than, and I'm talking about our starters, obviously. And I'm talking about Jalen Ramsey. I'm talking about X. I'm talking about Javon Holland. These guys, in my opinion, are better than the starters of the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm just going to tell you straight up. I rate them higher. I don't care what you tell me. I think they're better players than Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to tell you straight up that they're better than the Denver Broncos secondary. So if the Chiefs are having wide receiver issues against the Broncos, they're definitely going to have wide receiver issues against our starting two corners if they start. That means X and Ramsey. And Javon Holland in the back because I expect him to be back. That's my opinion. What do you guys think? Put that in the chat. But that's in the past, Hill said. In Miami, though he's still fond of his time in Kansas City, I'm ready, man. It's just another game. I'm just excited to play against my old brothers. It's just like if you're in high school and you move to a different city, it's still ball. At the end of the day, my job is to go out there and do what I've been doing all year, and that's have fun, help lead this team, and create opportunities for whoever. I'm still going to be the same old cheetah baby, Hill says. Of course, the matchup could have been even more memorable had the game been scheduled for Arrowhead Stadium, maybe as the kickoff game to the season instead of being selected for the first ever game in Frankfurt. I was kind of pissed about it, man, because obviously I've got so many friends. I've got family there. One of my sons is there. Just the energy, man, feeling the energy in Arrowhead would have been next level. But obviously, I understand that the NFL, that they want to be more global and they want to send two of the best offenses ever over their two MVP quarterbacks, dynamic offenses, and it's going to be a good game. It's really good promotion for them. But going back to Arrowhead, it would have been sensational. Notice how he said two MVP quarterbacks. I truly believe, and this is my statement, not Hill's statement, right? I truly believe that Tua is having an MVP season, and his wide receiver knows it, and his team knows it, and now I know fans know it. The guy literally has been playing at a different level, and if you go back and look at the stats, I don't care about what was done in the past. We're talking about 2023. There's no other quarterback playing at a better level than Tua right now. And that's a fact. So I don't care what you guys say in the chat, but that's what I believe. He goes on to say, to end the article, he goes on to say, somehow, though, based on what he's done so far this season, we get the feeling that Hill just might make it sensational in Germany. That's what Alan Pupar had to say. Shout out to Alan Pupar. Yeah, this game against the Chiefs is going to be sensational. You have last year's MVP going up against this year's front runner MVP. And I'm just going to go ahead and call him MVP, regardless if he wins it or not, because he is the Miami Dolphins MVP. I know everybody wants to give talent. Oh, he's only the MVP because of Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle or blah, 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 blah. Listen, Joe Montana had Jerry Rice. I could say that Joe Montana was MVP just because of Jerry Rice, right? Listen, it is harder to put a ball in an exact spot every time with that much accuracy. That is harder than going out and catching the ball, right? Because I can catch a ball at some point. I can catch a ball from 5, 10, 15, 20. I can catch a bomb at some point, right? Am I as fast as Tyreek? No. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Tyreek. But my point is that catching is only one part of the equation. Putting it in the exact spot at the exact moment at that accuracy is a lot harder than going out and catching a ball every time. Just going to point that out there. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. But that's why I'm saying Tua is the MVP. Plus everything else he's doing and what he's leading at. The guy is number one in almost every single accolade there is as a quarterback. It's too unfortunately. 72 undefeated. I'm sorry, I disagree with that comment. I think Tua does make players better. Case example. River Craycraft. River Craycraft couldn't even make a roster until Tua came along. I'm gonna point that out there. Right? And Tua was doing very okay, pretty good with Jalen Waddle before even Tyreek got here. So I'm not worried. That is, Jay, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm very glad you brought this up. So he says no linebacker should even try to cover Kelsey, Ramsey only. I don't know if Ramsey's the solution, but I am worried about Travis Kelsey. We do need someone to cover him. We need someone to be on him like white on rice. So I am kind of worried about that because I think if you shut Kelsey down, the other receivers fold in that case. They have some receivers that I know that are kind of concerning. But they also they got Micah Hardman back. He's kind of a fast, speedy receiver. You got to kind of keep an eye out. But Travis Kelsey is their main threat, and you do need to shut it down. They have running backs, but none of them are world beaters. Edwards-Helaire, whatever happened to him? He used to be the league leader, and that never transpired. Who else they got? I can't even name their other running backs. That's how unknown they are, in my opinion. They're good. They're maybe efficient. They get the job. Oh, Pachenko is the big one. Yeah, Pachenko, I know. He's super fast. He's almost like your Tyreek Hill-ish in the running back as a running back. So he's something we got to kind of keep an eye out to as well. But I think Travis Kelsey is a little bit more of a threat, in my opinion. He's somebody we got to kind of... We don't want to let him loose. That's basically what it comes down to. Scummy. You... funny stuff. Yeah, that's another thing. On top of being number one virtually at everything, look at all this offensive line issues. How many more offensive lineman injuries are we going to get? Center, the whole left side, I don't know if you guys noticed, has been injured. The only person that is left standing that has not been injured this entire season is Austin Jackson. Right? Austin Jackson's like, yeah, I'm fine. So only the right tackle is the only survivor, and you still have a guy that's number one in virtually everything. That's crazy. Yes, Mad Hatter, jiu-jitsu does actually work, as well as various other different things as well. So, mm-mm-mm. What's up, Wooback? How you doing? This is true. He is having better numbers with Tua than he did with Mahomes. I agree with you, Wooback, 100%. Listen, Kader Kahu is good. Is he good enough to cover Travis Kelsey? That is a question. I don't know who is good enough to cover Travis Kelsey. I just want somebody to cover him that knows how to tackle properly. Not saying that Kahu doesn't, but I need someone that consistently tackles right because you need to bring him down at all costs. I don't care if you give him the 5 yards or 10 yards or every once in a while 15 yards, but make sure when you have your hands on him, you bring him down, right? I just want consistently good tackling in this game. I'm just going to tell you guys straight up when it comes to the defense, I really feel it's just going to be about game management. They're going to manage the game, slow Mahomes down any way possible, right? It's not necessarily going to be about making sure we stop the run or go after them specifically and go after Mahomes and try to take him out. No, it's we're not going to focus on things like that. I think it's going to be about keeping the players in front of you, slowing the game down. I think they're going to try to manage to not let any big plays happen behind you. I think that's what the type of defensive game you're going to see personally. I also think this game might be high scoring, even with Ramsey. And I'm going to go ahead and say I think it's going to be a 42-35 win Miami. It's something like that. It's going to be a 70 burger altogether. So that's my opinion. Yeah, who has the best kicker? That's a good point. Good point, man. Chill. I agree with that. Let's go on to the next topic of discussion here. We are going to talk about tight ends because tight end has become somewhat of a position that we might have a need for since we're on the trade deadline day, right? And this is by Omar Kelly. Dolphins tight end Durham Smythe, Lewis's favorite player on the team, just so you know, is nursing an injury. Could the boot on Durham Smythe's left foot impact his practice and game participation in the coming weeks? The Miami Dolphins could be forced to limit the practice and possible game participation of an important offensive starter. Tight end Durham Smythe is sporting a walking boot on his left foot as of Monday and has a noticeable limp to his gait. He had a limp during the game on Sunday. I did notice that. It's unclear at this point if Smith's injury is an ankle, foot, or toe, and if this has been something that has been lingered for weeks, like fullback Alex Ingold's foot injury. But the injury did limit the veteran tight end's participation in Miami's 31-17 win over the New England Patriots last Sunday. Smythe praised for his toughness. That's kind of his swag. Medical boots. Dolphins coach Mike McDaniel joked when asked about his injury. He's a guy that's as tough as they come. It's hard during a game to access the severity of anything because he's so tough and he's willing to play through whatever. He'll battle through that. Mike Daniel continued, I definitely wouldn't bet against Durham Smythe playing in the game. Ingold has played with a foot injury for the past 3 weeks. He's held out of Wednesday practice so he can make it to Sunday's game, and his role on special teams would scaled back in recent weeks. It's likely that Smythe will be put on the same kind of maintenance program. Both players are critical. Both players are critical to the Miami offense of success because of their physicality they bring to help to game helps clean up the offensive line pass protection leaks, and they create creases in the run game for the NFL's top rushing attack, which averages 151.8 rushing yards per game. Dolphins have tight end options. McDaniel has typically taken a caution approach to playing injured players. If Smythe, who contributed to 14 receptions and 151 yards, needs to sit out Sunday's game against Kansas City Chiefs because of his injury, the Dolphins would be forced to lean on Julian Hill to fill the void. I love me some Julian Hill. I think he's a great blocker. I'd like to see him a little bit more in the passing game to see what happens. But I think he's definitely a good backup, in my opinion. Hill, an undrafted rookie from Campbell University, has already carved out a role for himself in McDaniel's offense, playing 160 snaps in 6 games. He's handled 34 offensive snaps on against the Patriots and caught the first pass of his NFL career, gaining 4 yards. The Dolphins could also begin to use tight end Tyler Kroft, a 9-year veteran who has been inactive for the 4 Miami 8 games this season. There's also 2 practice squad tight ends, Tanner Connor and Nick Bowers, who could have their roles and contribution level on offense and special teams elevated. Connor, a former Idaho receiver who made it to the NFL Dolphins 53-man roster as an undrafted rookie last year, has been called up from the practice squad and added to the game day roster for 2 games this season. He's eligible to be called up from the practice squad one more time before the Dolphins must add him to the 53-man roster to play him. Bowers, a former Penn State product who's playing in his 3rd NFL team since 2020, has 5 games of NFL experience, going back to his stint with the Las Vegas Raiders in the 2021 season. The NFL teams can only call up 2 practice squad players per week to the game day roster. Dolphins re-signed veteran cornerback Perry Nickerson on Monday, adding the nickel cornerback who was waived over the weekend to make room of the roster for Jalen Ramsey to the practice squad. Miami waived cornerback Mark Milton from the team's practice squad to make room for Nickerson on the 16-player developmental unit. So, that being said, what do you guys think about tight end? Are we worried about tight ends? We don't really use tight ends. So, what role is there for them? I will say we use them as an extension of the offensive line. That's where it's really important. I think that's where we do need physical guys. We need strong, tough guys to hold up that line. They create the creases. They're part of the running game. Regardless of the passing game and passing attack and how we use them, they're a true extension of that. And I think that is more important than having them in the passing game. So what do you guys think of that? Do you guys think we need to bring in another tight end, being that this is the trade deadline today by 4 p.m.? Or do you think we stay pat with what we got? Or do we sign a free agent? Is there a free agent out there that we could get? I don't know. Just the thought process. Make sure you guys are hit liking and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Everyone that's come out, appreciate you guys. Mr. Paul, how you doing? Yes, I do think Julian Hill is progressing well. We'll definitely see. Wooback, are you talking about Kyle Pitts? Isn't that the tight end for the Falcons? I don't really see them trading him though. I mean, unless something came out that I wasn't aware of. Let me check to see if there's any up-to-date news on Twitter or anything. Yeah, I don't really see anything coming up here. No. Yeah, I don't really see anything here regarding any news about Kyle Pitts or anybody. I don't know. I kind of think Kyle Pitts has been kind of lackluster, bro. He's not really that great of a tight end personally. From what I take that back. Let me explain my thought process on this. He is not as great of a tight end that what you would expect as how high he was drafted. I expected much more. I thought he was going to be an absolute superstar, and I haven't seen it. It hasn't come to fruition. So that's my opinion. Could he do better? I don't think we would use him the same way we'd use Durham Smythe or Julian Hill. I think he would be we'd have him line up at receiver a lot. I think that's what would happen with him. Yeah, the Mad Hatter is asking some questions. We talked about this earlier. Armstead has traveled to Germany with the team. They are going to evaluate him. They could activate him, and he could immediately play against the Chiefs. So that is a very big possibility. Connor, we did call him up for 2 games. We might be calling him back up for another one. So that is an option as well. Wubak says we could trade Wilson Chosen for Jerry Judy if he's on the trade. Listen, speaking of Cedric Wilson, he's kind of come out of his shell finally, right? We're starting to see a lot more of him. He scored a touchdown. I'm glad that he's starting to look like his old Dallas wide receiver that he was back in the day. So that is something that we're starting to see. You're right, Mr. Polk. And I think what you meant to say, maybe Pitts doesn't fit the scheme of the Falcons. Yeah, that's right. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe in our scheme, he'd look a lot better. Maybe he'd perform a lot better. This is absolutely right. Good thought on that. So that's a good way of looking at it too. Yeah, I'm kind of happy to see him start stepping up his game. It was cool to finally see Claypool kind of out there. He got his first catch in. That was cool. I want to see a little bit more of him though. Maybe this type of game against Kansas City, maybe that's where we get some unsung heroes that we haven't seen yet come in and make a name for themselves. Duke Tomlinson is asking, was Tyndall a wasted draft pick or he's still too young? Well, it depends on who you ask and what you're looking at, right? I think he has all of the physical talents and attributes. I don't think he has the football IQ that Vic Fangio wants for this team. The we've talked about this several times in the offseason. I talked about it in other spaces and even on here. Vic Fangio relies on high football IQ players. He doesn't want to have to sit there and tell you what your assignment is every snap. He wants high football IQ players that know where to line up, know where to be, can already look at the offense and how they're lining up and know what calls to call out. That's what he's relying on. So it is very possible that we're not really seeing him because of the other players that are ahead of him have a lot more higher football IQ. And is he really that much better than David Long, for example? Is he really that much better than Jerome Baker? That's something to think about. So I think maybe this year you might see him sit, but next year you might see more of him. But we have seen him quite a bit on on special teams and stuff like that. Same thing for Cam Smith. Both players, it's really hard seeing them on the sidelines and not getting playing time, right? But I think it has to do with football IQ. That's what I think it has to do with. Mr. Park says Channing Tindall IQ is an issue. Interesting. All right. Keep it moving. Make sure you guys hit like and subscribe. I'm going to read one more article, and then I think we're just going to talk it out in the chat. You guys put subjects in the chat or questions you have, and we'll talk through them. Let's see what we hear. All right, so we'll talk about this. Dolphins Patriots Week 8, 5 biggest storylines and how they played out. This is a good thing. Number 1, this is the biggest one of them all. Ramsey's Dolphins debut, and this, just so you know, is by Alan Pupari as well. Before the game, the moment the Dolphins and their fans have been anxiously awaiting is upon us, with prized offseason acquisition Jalen Ramsey set to make his debut after being activated off injured reserve Saturday. How much Ramsey ends up playing and how much of an impact he can make in his first appearance of 2023 season will be perhaps more significant than anything else that happens in this game. During the game, yeah, I would have been difficult to come up with a better script for Ramsey debut than having him come up with the biggest play of the game, his interception and long return that set up a field goal and turned a potential 14-14 halftime score into a 17-7 lead for the Dolphins. Even before the Ramsey forced a fumble that Dolphins made awfully close to recovering. So, yeah, this was a great debut for Ramsey. In fact, I agree with that 100%. From the moment he stepped on the field and hearing the crowd go nuts, it was definitely great. And without ado, I'm going to give this man the respect that he deserves. And yeah, here we go. Coming in here like a movie star, late for his debut, as usual. No, just kidding.
Good morning, Ali.
Good morning. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. And that's respect deserved, save for one person.
Okay. Come on, you deserve the respect, bro. No worries.
Well, I know I deserve it. I just obviously don't deserve it from everybody.
Oh. Well, you have my respect. And that's the one that matters. So let's keep this going. So what we're talking about right now, we're talking about the biggest storylines from this past Sunday and how they turned out, the before and after. So we just talked about Jalen Ramsey. I don't know if you guys know this, but when he stepped out on the field, the whole stadium was roaring, the loudest roar I've heard in a while, right? It was immensely loud roaring, and it was really cool to see. Even got me energized and pumped for the game. And then when you saw him on the field, bro, it was like he never left the game at all. It was like what we're used to seeing from Jalen Ramsey. You know what I mean? Great. The corners, it actually helped the whole secondary in whole, because it seemed like everything was pretty much locked down at that point. You know what I mean? Yeah, the running game gave us a little bit trouble during the game, but we locked down the passing game, and the rest is history, in my opinion. What do you think of Jalen Ramsey's debut?
I think that so far, I know it's only one game, but you look at what you're looking at and eye test and all that, and so far he's proving everything I thought about the guy. I honestly believe this guy's career could exceed Deion Sanders. Like, I think he is on that trajectory. I think he is that level of a player. I had no doubt in my mind that he would make a difference in his first game back. And he has made a difference his first game back.
I hear you. I definitely hear he's definitely made a difference. Already the
Good morning,
defense.
Shekel. I had to say good morning to Shekel real quick. Always
Oh, no
courteous.
worries. Definitely. But just like what you were saying, it was the defense I think played a lot better with having him back there. It seemed like they were more comfortable. You know what I mean? You could even the defensive line seemed like they were getting a lot more pressure than they did in the previous bout with the Patriots.
A
You know
lot
what I
easier
mean?
to get home when when the quarterback has no fifth option, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the kind of difference that they make. So let's see here.
I mean, guy comes right in, blows up a play on the edge, knocks a football out that, albeit it goes out of bounds, we don't end up recovering it, but making a difference right out the gate. And then just, I mean, you look at that interception, man, and how it developed, bro, and you're looking at, all pro level cornerback play, man. It's just, there's
Yeah.
very few that can do it like that, man.
Manalo Rivera says a couple of coverage sacks. Nice to see. Doesn't matter. Sacks are sacks regardless, bro. It doesn't matter what type of sacks they came. We're getting them. That's the
Oh, I
point.
agree. But what he's pointing out is,
Yeah.
we're able to finally get home and get those coverage sacks. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, we did have a couple against the Eagles, but it just seems stark to me difference that, we haven't really noticed them all year. And then first day back and we're noticing them. It's like, yeah, that was an obvious coverage sack. You know what I mean? Like, what a coincidence,
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. The second storyline they have here talking about is the Tyreek Belichick battle color. Before the game, now that the big scare with Tyreek Hill missing practice Wednesday with a hip injury is a thing of the past, the next order of business becomes how New England coach Bill Belichick will try to defend him to limit the damage. Hill usually inflicts on opponents. The Patriots came up with a pretty good solution in week 2 matchup at Gillette Stadium when Hill was held to a season low 40 receiving yards, though he did score a touchdown. But Hill also has produced at least 150 yards in every one of Miami's home games this season. During the game, it took all of one play for Hill to top his receiving yardage total from week 2 when the Patriots made the same mistake other teams have made and in not properly providing deep help. The result was a 42-yard touchdown that was part of Hill's 112-yard day. And then there's the stuff that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, namely Hill's presence drawing 2 defenders and leaving Jalen Waddle wide open in the middle of the field for a game-clinching 31-yard touchdown. That is not a joke, color. He really did. He does a lot of this stuff that people don't really realize on a stat sheet. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Well, part of that is us to, I mean, it's not so much help as it is, being, I don't know if it's fooled or there's always that continuous strategy back and forth between, do I run? Do I pass? Is he going to run? Is he going to pass? You know what I mean? And I think the defense, I think the Patriots were just were set up completely wrong to deal with our speed. Like, you have the safety help that he did have. When they say he didn't have no help over top, there was 2 safeties. They were just 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. Both of them. I mean, and we saw that against Buffalo and didn't take advantage of it. We ended up trying to run the ball on 3rd and 1, getting the fumble and all that. And now the argument is, okay, well, or the pushback is, well, we didn't quite, that was their stadium. It was loud. We didn't have the communication. We couldn't run something like that. And that's fine. I'm just pointing out that there's a case where you see what happens when they do bunch it up like that and you've got 2 speed receivers like that. Take your choice. draw one of them out like he did to draw everybody over, or just send Tyreek vertical. He's beating those two guys in a second flat with enough time for Tua to just lob the ball up over everybody's head. And it would produce, a lot of times you see that 3rd and 1 and you're getting a touchdown out of it. And sure enough, that's what happened. You know what I mean?
That's true. I just want to point this one comment out, and I need someone to fact check this because I wasn't aware of this. So there's a stat where Patriots haven't allowed a 100-yard receiver this year, and we just had 2 in one game on them. Is that legit, Color? I didn't know about that.
I don't know, but it certainly has the virtue of being legit.
Yeah, I mean that's an amazing stat. That's ridiculous. I will say, being at the game and watching that touchdown by Tyreek, the comment in the article was that they made the same mistake, and it almost looks like they're leaving that one defender by themselves in front of him, let it be a zone or semi-zone man coverage, and then Tyreek just takes advantage of it. If you're going to allow that all game, of course, we're going to throw the same to him every time in that situation.
And again, that's the thing. When the play developed after the snap of the ball, yeah, there's only one safety. But the way it was set up with both of them so close to the line of scrimmage, what I think Belichick was expecting was either a run or some kind of end around or some kind of, edge play to Tyreek. That's why the motion from Tyreek drew everybody to that side. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Having that running game in our back pocket now has made a world of a difference, bro. Because now you have to double think every move. Is this a pass? Is it run? What do I do? You know what I mean?
And even the pure speed of our receivers, because there again, what happens if he drops those guys back? We dump it underneath. And Tyreek beats one guy for the first down. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or if they fade to Tyreek like that or shade to Tyreek like that, we get a touchdown. Take your choice. We just have to implement it. We have to execute that. That's the only, I'm talking as if it's clockwork, but it can be, if we just choose to do that.
Yep, absolutely. The next subject that they have on here by Alan Popard was the O-line outlook. Before the game, the offensive line had played a key role in the success of the Dolphins' offense in 2023, but it's been dealing with injuries as of late, and will face another tough challenge against a pretty good Patriots defense. Center Connor Williams has a shot at being back in the lineup after missing the past 2 games with a groin injury, but Lester Cotton will make his first start at left guard in place of injured Isaiah Wynn. Whoever make up of the starting 5, the offensive line has to be sharp for the offense to produce the way it has produced at home so far this season. During the game, though, unfortunately, things didn't get any better from an injury standpoint, but actually worse. Connor Williams was back in uniform, but he still wound up not playing. And that's despite 2 more injuries up front. Right guard Robert Hunt and left tackle Kendall Lamb both were injured in the first half, and Hunt didn't return while Lamb was back in the second half after missing 5 snaps. The line performed pretty well overall, though Tua was sacked twice. There were a couple of penalties on the offensive line. Okay, so I'm going to bring a possibility to you, and I want to know what you think, Color. So I mentioned this yesterday of some things that we could see happening, and one thing we know is a lot of our offensive linemen, they're very versatile. They can play different positions. They have played different positions. Could this, being the fact that Eichenberg has been so, I would say, I'm not going to say he's like the all-time leading center of the NFL, but what I will say, he's been solid and good enough for what we do. Could you see Connor Williams playing guard at the same time as Eichenberg playing center?
I could, or vice versa even. I mean,
I don't know. It didn't look pretty with Eichenberg at guard, but it has looked okay and decent at center. Connor Williams was a guard before we signed him, so that's why I'm thinking that's a possibility. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about that in chat? Put it in chat. I don't really know what we do with this offensive line, bro. They got the injury bug bad, and I don't know what to do with it. You know what I mean? So far, everyone we brought in has performed, but when will that performance run out? That's the bigger question.
Right.
I also think it's funny that Austin Jackson, not really funny, I should say. That's the wrong term to use. I find it intriguing that Austin Jackson is the last man standing, so to speak. He's the only person on the offensive line that hasn't been injured yet outside of Eichenberg. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because Armstead, he got injured. Kendall Lamb injured. Isaiah Wynn injured. Robert Jones injured. Now Hunt's injured. He's the last man standing, pretty much. That and also said, we also confirmed that there's a big possibility Armstead could be back for the Chiefs game. I don't know if you heard about that news as well. He did fly to Germany with the team.
Yeah. By the way, real quick, Ali, I've got a show note for you.
Sure.
The New England Patriots did, in fact, not give up a single 100-yard receiver all season until Sunday, where they gave up 2.
Okay, so that was the first game. That's awesome.
I've just looked at every single. I looked at every single game, and here's the other piece.
Mm-hmm.
The highest performing receiver before Sunday was week 2. Jalen Waddle, 86 yards.
Almost. Yeah, I mean, we said that earlier. They held Tyreek to that game to 40 yards. You know what I mean? So the fact
AJ Brown for the Eagles had 79 yards against them.
Ooh. Yeah. Anyways, Color, hold it down for me just a moment. I gotta take a quick break. I'll be right back, real quick. Is that okay?
Sure. Yeah, and I'll just ride that what I was talking about. You know, this is the reason why everybody says, "Hey, why don't we beat we don't beat the good teams, but we show signs that we can." I mean, you're not talking about you're talking about results here. You're not talking about, oh, the Patriots are a bad team. Okay, but they got a good defense and they proved it. You know, we're in week 8 and they haven't given up a 100-yard receiver until us. And the one they did, the highest one before that was our receiver. Not A.J. Brown from the Eagles. Not Stephon Diggs. You know? And so you could say, well, yeah, they're a bad team, but you can still see relative correlations and relative comparisons. Compare to ourselves. Don't even compare to the other team. The first time around, Jalen Waddle had 86 yards. Tyreek Hill had 40-something. Fast forward, and, you got what was it? 120 and 111, or 140 and 111, something like that. That's a marked improvement. And that's also, showing, hey, bad football team or not, their defense is stymieing offenses, including ours, until Sunday. So this notion that we don't have the tools, look, it's going to happen. It is inevitable that we finally get that win. Whoever it is, whether it's this week, the Chiefs, Ravens. I mean, there's a couple other teams that are decent too that aren't out of it. Okay, let's say they're not going anywhere. Washington Commanders, not a bad football team. And I want to point out, as I did last week or before the Eagles, that they played the Eagles to overtime and scored 31 points on that vaunted Eagles defense. And then what do? Second matchup this week. And they proceed to put the exact same number of points on the Eagles, 31, albeit in a losing effort again. But now you're looking at a couple different dynamics involved with that. You're looking at showing the evidence that divisional games are different. The Commanders are going to play the Eagles different than a non-conference opponent. Can't really garner any information from that other than, when a team plays their divisional opponent, they're usually their true colors. That's who you're built to beat. So there's that. But the Eagles defense is still the Eagles defense. Does any offense have the ability to put up 31 points on them? Yes. The Washington Commanders. And I don't know anybody that would say the Commanders offense is more productive than ours. So we're going to get that win, people. We're going to get it. They're not going to be able to continue this narrative that we can't beat anybody worth a damn. And I'm sorry, record or not, the Chargers are a team that's a tough out. They've been playing everybody tough. They've been themselves. They just haven't been winning because they're not a winning football team. It is what it is. First game of the season. You got the Patriots twice.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't amounted to more than 24 points against them in our first 3 meetings since McDaniel's been our coach, and then we stick 31 against them.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the backup quarterback debacle, we've beaten in Foxborough last year. We've beat them everywhere we faced them since McDaniel's been our coach.
Just want to point that out there that Tua as a starting quarterback is 6-0 against Bill Belichick. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, and I don't want to point it out because I'm not all that, but because we know how some of those wins have come. But it's at the point where you're talking about a 6-game sample size. You can talk in those terms now because, everybody's 6-0 against Belichick. But you know what? So is Tua. So we can say that Tua is 6-0 against Bill Belichick.
Everyone is
because
6-0.
you know what? No other quarterback is. Even if he had to have help here and there from the defense and all that, no other quarterback did that.
That's true. That is true. I'm just curious. I'm gonna check something real quick.
An individual game is win is not a quarterback stat, but when you do start racking up a good sample size and the guy is on the team and we don't lose, then you can say that.
Feller, you want to know who's not 6-0 against the Patriots?
Tom Brady.
Josh Allen only has a 5-5 record against the Patriots.
Right.
So he's not 6-0. Just gonna point that out there.
Exactly.
But I understand what you mean. Sometimes defense win the game, whatever. But the point is,
right. But when you get to a high enough sample size, Ali, it's like you can't just chalk it up like that. You got to say, okay, this guy is involved in leading our team to 6 victories because the quarterback is the leader of the team.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Some more than others, I guess, but the point is, you're at a if you're talking about 5-game sample size, like okay, Tua has played 5 total games in his career, and he's got 2 wins against the Bill Belichick. I'm not going to say he's 2-0 against Belichick, but now the guy's talking about in his 4th season, faced Belichick 6 times, and we have won all 6 times. Yeah, Tua's 6-0 against Belichick. I can say that now. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I do know what you mean by, some of the yards and stuff like that. What he did, it didn't amount to winning. It was the defense that won the game for us. I get that. I completely understand that. I will say since 2022, that's where things really have picked up. And he's been putting over 200 yards every time. Sure. And very high.
So now you can look back and you can look back now and say, defensive wins or not. He's obviously a good luck charm at the very least. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, so far in 6 games, he's thrown for 1,299 yards, His
Right.
completion percentage is at 68.3%, 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. And it has a
See, that
QB
those ain't
rating.
really great numbers, bro, if you
His
think about
QB
it. But we
his-
won.
yeah, we won. And his QB rating has been 92.2 on average.
Well,
in those
that's where he's taking care of the football against Belichick. That's
And that's a key to winning. If you can take care of the football and just be safe and balanced with it, you have a very good chance of winning the game.
That's
So
how
you might,
Belichick wins.
yeah, that's how Belichick wins. Exactly. So I mean, look, the point is that if you look from what his stats were from the first 2 or 3 games to the last 3 games, there's a big difference, bro. The guy is definitely evolving, and I said it before. Tua, in my opinion, is playing at an MVP level, unlike any other quarterback in this league this year. In 2023, Tua is a better quarterback than any other quarterback thus far.
Right. Well, let's do the anonymous solilogy, Ali. Right.
Go ahead.
If you told me a box score of a quarterback was, what was it, 35 for 45 for 324 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception, and then and said that was Tua, I would tell you there is no way on God's green earth that was a Bill Belichick defense. And I would have been wrong. You know what I mean? So there you go.
Definitely.
Now, you're not going to downplay a 324-yard performance with 3 touchdowns against a Belichick coach defense who has already slowed us down in the last 3 meetings.
Speaking of which, just real quick, I just want to catch up with the chat real quick. Kevin Hans, how you doing, man? Nice to see you. Shake Money is in the house now, so shout out to him.
I wanted to, shout out Shake. I wanted to verify real quick. Am I allowed to be praising Tua like this, Ollie? I'm not sure.
You don't need any permission. Come on, Color.
Okay, I wanted to make sure. I just wanted to.
We're the one that give permission. They don't give permission to us. Just kidding. But no, you're fine. And Ty Bless, how you doing, man? Nice seeing you too. Sharif, how's it going, Sharif? I see you in the chat. Every morning I try to shout out to everybody. If I'm missing you, I'm so sorry. I just want to make sure. Oh, Kadeem,
don't miss Kadeem. Kadeem is up in here.
Kadeem, are you gonna please put it in the chat? Are you gonna be at the Germany game? Are you in Germany? I want to know. I know you're in England.
All he's got to take a little cruise ship across the channel, take a little train to Frankfurt. Yeah, man.
They don't even take a cruise ship. They probably take. They have that tunnel now. Don't they?
That's right. There's an underground tunnel across the channel now, ain't there? That's right.
Yeah. So
wow.
Shout out to Kadeem. I hope you're at the game, bro. I love to see it. One of my dreams or bucket list is I want to travel Europe, bro. I'm gonna do like the full thing, go to like several countries, and back in the 80s.
Kadeem's like, shut up, Color. I'm flying.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Flying. I mean, probably for them, it's probably really inexpensive because of the distance of how close they are compared to where.
Yeah, it's like taking It's like taking a puddle jumper, to Tampa or something.
Oh, still needs to get a ticket, but it's likely, he says.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, even if you can't get a ticket, I mean, the fanfare, you know what I mean? It's still worth going to.
Definitely. Shout out to Kadeem. If you guys ever get a chance, check out his podcast as well. So shout out to him. All right.
The only one who won't be dealing with jet lag.
All right.
Maybe an hour. You got an hour of jet lag, but that ain't nothing.
That's not jet lag, Color. That's a nap.
I know who's going to be dealing with more jet lag than us. Because I hadn't thought about something, Ollie. The Chiefs are an hour behind us, so they got to go 7 hours ahead.
But here's another thing. I don't know if this is accurate.
Real quick, they remember that they played in Denver.
Yeah.
So that's 8 hours they got to make up, man.
Yeah.
Good.
But here's the biggest part. This is the biggest part. And I want your opinion on what you think, if it's a thing or not. I like Mike McDaniel's approach. He's doing the Bill Belichick way. Your surroundings are going to be different. Let's get there as quickly as possible and acclimate. right? And that's what he's doing. I like that personally. Now, supposedly, and this is what got posted on Twitter by someone, I can't remember who it was, but yesterday I read it. It was one of the mainstream media outlets. They're stating that the Chiefs aren't traveling till Thursday. Is that legit?
That's what I heard. That's the rumor.
That's the rumor? Okay. Well, what do you
It's a
think about that?
dangerous game they're playing right there, man.
That's what I think. I think that's a dangerous game as well. I shout out to Mike McDaniel and everybody that's already there. They really had a plan for this, and I really
Yeah, we're rolling in like Rocky and Rocky 4, man.
Yeah, I think it's
we're
a great
gonna
idea.
be training in the elements. Our guys are gonna be throwing tree logs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Growing beards.
Growing beards. Hey, November's right around the corner, man. No shave November.
Hey, Tua is gonna run up on top of a mountain hill and be like, Patrick.
Oh man. So yeah, that's big news. Ty Bless put this earlier. I meant to read this and I almost forgot. So he has a trade wish. We talked about trades earlier. This is the trade deadline today by 4 p.m. Eastern time. I think we make a move and we make a subtraction. I do think Emmanuel Ogbah, maybe a player like that, might be on his way out.
For Brunskill, a good trade up right there. Maybe
I don't know who we're
involved.
trading for, but I will say that there's certain positions that I think that are key here, Colin. And we talked about this earlier. For me, actually, I'll say what Ty Bless is saying. Ty Bless wants to say he would like to see Devin White and Derrick Henry. I don't think Derrick Henry is going to go anywhere. Nobody's giving up the McCaffrey deal that Tennessee supposedly wants. I don't know why they think they would get anything like that anyway. He's scheduled to be a free agent. I think, they're making a big mistake. They should have just taken whatever deal they could get, to be honest, because it's better than nothing at all, right? Granted, though, maybe they're having second thoughts because of their new quarterback put up 4 touchdowns in his debut. But then again, are you going to risk not getting anything for a guy that only had 1 good game? Watch him go on a losing streak the rest of the season. We just saw that with the Bears quarterback. I can't think of his name, but the Division II Heisman winner or whatever he was, that guy that's playing quarterback for the Bears. He had an amazing debut. The next game, he put up a goose egg, bro. Didn't really do very much at all.
Right, it's their second act. Their first act is scripted. I mean, the coach just scripts a whole game for them, and if they execute it, again, like we always say, most teams, if they just have 100% execution, can beat anybody. You know what I mean? So, there you go. This guy's coming in. It's like the coach, hey, we got you taken care of. Just trust us. And, goes out there, balls out, puts up a big game. And then the next game, it's, okay, now we got to be an NFL quarterback. You know what I mean? And, it ain't so easy. I think maybe Mr. Purdy is suffering from some of that now. It just took a little longer to develop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight of the other option that he's talking about is Devin White. I think that is a position we have to address. I think inside linebacker is a must on the defense. Corner, I'm okay with. We got Ramsey. We're going to get X back.
And the 10,000-pound elephant in the room, offensive line. I mean,
that's the other option as well. That's the other thing.
The tough part is so they're so premium right now for a good one that nobody's going to really want to give them up. Even the teams that are fire sailing are going to go, hey, I've got like Tennessee, for instance. I've got this young quarterback who just put up 4 touchdowns. I need to make sure I keep him protected. And even a team that's selling like that won't give up their offensive lineman. I'm hoping that with a guy like Brunskill, that maybe they want a clear house of everybody over 30 years old. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm going on with that move. But ideally, you want to throw Henry on for some icing on the cake. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Henry's a possibility given the number of teams that are interested. But yeah, I mean, who wouldn't? And you're talking about, I mean, you could argue that Derrick Henry move alone would make us so unstoppable that it really wouldn't. All of our other problems really wouldn't matter anymore.
Yeah. Ty Bless asked about how much longer for Chris Brooks. I don't think Chris Brooks comes off the IR.
Yeah, I don't know.
Green
Yeah, I
Bay,
don't know about
you're
that.
limited on how many times you can do that in the season before they have to remain on there. I'm gonna say Achan is definitely coming off of IR when he's ready. But I don't think Chris Brooks comes off the IR.
Mhm. I mean,
That
think of
all
it like this. Think on the Derrick Henry thing. One other point. The man. Think of it like this. The man is a one-man push.
that is
Enough
true.
said.
That's why
Enough
that's
said.
why I would
You
want
want
Derrick
you,
Henry. That's why I
you
want him. Yeah.
right. You're up by 4 points, and you need to get rid of 5 minutes. Derrick Henry.
You
you know.
know, where was it? Was it there was a couple games ago, I wanna say it was against maybe the Eagles or somebody else. We're 1st and 10 on the goal on, 1st and 10 I'm sorry, 1st and goal, and we're having problems getting the touchdown done, right? We're having to
Mhm.
rely on 3rd and 4th down. Bro, you have Derrick Henry in your backfield. You know that those 10 yards are not going to be anything. In the red zone, you're going to be able to run him, and you're on the goal line, no problem. We don't have to worry about not getting him. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
He kind of has that, and I'm only using this as an example. But when you're on the 1 or 2 yard line, and you have a running back that can average more than 5 yards a carry without a problem, what do you think you're doing? You're not gonna throw the ball like Seattle did. You're gonna hand it off to a Marshawn Lynch or a
Right.
Derrick Henry. That's what I
And
that's what
even if the guy doesn't get 1 yard, you send him. You send a refrigerator. Pardon the pun. Up into that hole enough during the game against their
Christian
defensive line,
Wilkins.
and their
Christian
defensive
Wilkins.
line is going to break. Their defensive line is going to be broken by the end of that game.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about you send Christian Wilkins as your fullback, as the he's the
Well,
refrigerator you're
yeah,
throwing it.
situationally, I'm just referring to
Yeah.
even if you only had 10 yards rushing, if you're pounding Derrick Henry into that defensive line all day,
Mhm.
they're going to break, man. They're just
Yeah.
going to break.
Yep. So Kevin Hans asked, do we make any trades today? Is that what happens? Well, listen, first of all, I do think a trade does happen. I think we're gonna see one incoming and one outgoing. That's what I think is gonna happen. Um, is it all to the same team? I don't know. We'll find out. But that's basically where I could see something happening there. Shout out to the Triple S podcast, my man. Saw him at the game. Got to meet you. Really awesome. Salute to you, sir. Go Bucks plus fins up. Salute color. Speaking of color, check this out.
Of Triple S.
Speaking of Triple S, I discussed this with him a little bit, and this I should have talked about this on What in the World, but I forgot about it. So over the weekend, it was reported that with the hindsight of the allegations against Michigan Wolverines and Jim Harbaugh's organization and everything over there, um, with the whole sign stealing, you know what's going on with that? You're familiar, right? Color.
Yeah. The latest I saw was that they don't want to renew his contract or something.
No, well, the latest is
Or
this
they want
that
to
in the
rescind it or something.
NFL. Well, check this out. It gets even worse when what I'm about to tell you, but I'm going to tell you the first part. The latest now is that the NFL like most NFL people are stating that there's no room for Jim Harbaugh in the NFL. Like before, when Ohio State's coach, for example, Jim Tressel, got in trouble for having knowledge that his players were selling memorabilia and stuff. He went and basically escaped college and did a stint as an assistant of some kind for the Indianapolis Colts, to give you an example. Well, Jim Harbaugh, they're saying, won't have that option and they're saying that based on the allegations and what has transpired, they're so damning. He's gonna get hit with huge NCAA penalties of some kind. It's gonna be massive. And now there's a report that just came out today. Actually, not today. It came out yesterday that now they have proof that that I guess the Michigan Wolverines water boy staff, or people that hand out the water bottles and everything, they have proof that they were getting calls, listening to calls that the offense of the opposing teams were making and handing it over as well. So Just more damning stuff on top of it. Just pouring starting fluid on a fire that's already blazing. You know what I mean? That's basically what's happening here. What are your thoughts on that? Anything, Color?
I mean, how sausage is made. I don't know.
I don't know. I just thought you'd have something to say about it specifically because
I mean,
at one time Miami wanted him to be the head coach and it never happened. You know what I mean?
I think Jim Harbaugh is just such an arrogant person that it's like, I'm not feeling any empathy. You know what I mean? Like,
to be honest, if I had to pick a Harbaugh brother to be coach, bro, it's going to be his brother from the Ravens. I think he's a little bit more level-headed than Jim, to be honest. What do you think?
Right. And I mean, the guy is full of controversy. So I say, bring him home.
Don't bring him home. You can stay there. Technically, he's home already, so stay there.
Speaking of, Ollie, so I'm driving down the road yesterday, right? And, which ain't really a big deal. I mean, everybody drives down the road, right? But so I'm sitting behind this van, very similar van to the one that that we take down to the game, right? Very similar, and I didn't notice that at first, but it just dawned on me. So I'm sitting there and I get a little lazy on the brake pedal and I look up and I'm like, oh, I'm almost hitting the guy, right? So I slam on the brake, and that happens every once in a while. But it allowed me, because I was so close, to notice the stickers all over the back of his window, right? And I noticed the one right in the middle was a Dolphins sticker. I'm like, oh, cool, he's a Dolphins fan, right? And then I noticed the sticker next to that one was a member sticker. Oh, he's also a season ticket holder. Oh, cool. And both of that, noticing that, like, distracted me away from the third sticker all the way to the right of the three, was an Ohio State sticker.
Oh my God.
I'm like, this Ollie's doppelganger, man. I'm like, what are you doing down here in West Palm, man? What did you have to do yesterday down here, bro?
Yeah. Well, surprisingly, there are a lot of Ohio State fans that are also Miami Dolphins fans. So
and season ticket holders. Oh,
yeah,
like, dang, man, even the Dolphin member sticker too. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah, shout out to Triple S, who I mentioned earlier. He flew all the way from Canada to come to the game, bro. And he's an Ohio State fan. You know what I mean? So shout out to him. Yeah. Oh, bro.
They also had the Ohio State license plate ring. I'm like, this is unreal, man.
That is funny. That is really funny. But yeah, I did also hear you mentioned it earlier. I didn't know about that, but that is news that Harbaugh's supposedly extension is off the table now. We'll have to see if that's legit or not. But that is pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was just a headline I came across. I didn't read the article.
Yeah. People are talking about Chris Brooks. Chris Brooks. Bro, that guy's a stud. Unfortunately, he's on the IR, and I don't think we bring him back. I want to bring him back, but I don't think we can because we have too many people on there right now. What do you think? Doesn't happen? I think we bring Armstead, Achane back, maybe Isaiah Wynn. Do we have room for another? I have to find out what our limits are. I don't even know what I don't even know what like how many more times we can bring people back. I don't know what number we're at right now.
Yeah, me neither.
Speaking of referees, Mr. Paulk, I see you talking about them. It's kind of interesting that the Dolphins game, right? Eagles, we couldn't get any of the calls. Very next game against the Patriots, we got all the calls at one point. At one point, we got all of them. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Right when I thought, oh, it's pass interference. Oh, it's holding on us. No, it was on the other team. I was like, okay. Oh, man.
At least we didn't make it look obvious.
So Garrett Grimes says, and shout out to Garrett. Thank you very much for telling us this. The limit is 8 returns from the IR. How many have we had so far? Do we know?
I don't. You got Craycraft.
Oh.
You got Craycraft. You got Jalen Ramsey. You got who else has come off IR?
I'm trying to find out.
We got Chan is on IR. Brooks is on IR, so that's 4.
Yeah. Isn't Izukama also on IR?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. We had the other guys were on the pup.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of. Maybe we got 3 slots left. I can't think of anybody else. I'm sure there is.
Maybe we do bring Chris Brooks back, possibly. I don't know. I don't know if it happens. We'll have to see. We will have to see. Yeah, Shake Money is commenting to Ty Bless as if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. This is true.
Right.
This is true.
That's right. And if you ain't getting caught, you ain't cheating enough.
Mr. Pog wants to know what happened to undrafted Peely, who was my favorite undrafted player.
Oh, yeah, what happened to Peely, man?
He's still there. He, I believe he was one of the inactives over this past weekend.
All right.
Yeah, so he was one of the inactives. I mean, when you got 3 guys ahead of you, it's hard to basically find playing time, I should say, when you have Zach Seiler, Christian Wilkins, and Raekwon Davis in front of you. I said it before. I still think that defensive tackle room is missing somebody. We need another person, bro. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a world beater, but just somebody that can come in and be solid, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He was on the injury report previously with some type of neck issue, but let me see if there's any injury news for him now. They're asking if Brandon Pilley was injured. Let's see. Yeah, no news of an injury at all. I just know he was inactive. Let me look at the Dolphins injury reports. Let's see.
You know, I just want to point out that Xavier Howard wasn't the only one missing from our secondary this week, and we were locked down, man. No Holland either.
Yeah, no Holland either. Exactly. Pilley's not on the injury report either, so I think he was inactive because they loaded up with what's his name, Ramsey, and who else?
And anybody that claimed Jalen Ramsey was washed, I'm laughing at your superior intellect.
That's true. Triple S says you can bring 8 back. We have 9 total IRs so far, including those brought back. So only one that can't come back likely will be Eazy-E. So Chris Brooks could come back. Okay, I'll bring it back happily, bro. I just want HN back before Chris Brooks, to be honest. No Nick Needham except special teams. Yeah, we need Nick Needham to get into game shape. So, maybe we eventually see him. With this rate we're at, Color, we could actually win enough games to actually sit our starters the last 2 games. What do you think?
I'm telling you, as I pointed out yesterday, Crypto did a great. It was kind of coincidence, a fortunate one. Crypto did the show yesterday on the table being set and the fact that we're poised to be in a position to lock stuff down earlier, like a month earlier than we were last year. So last year we were poised. We went up against the 49ers, and that day we were poised to like take control of the whole conference. Whereas this year we're only at week 8 and we're already in that position. You know, and I pointed out to supplement that. Look, we got 3 games left to get to the win total from last year, and we have 9 games left to play.
That's true.
I mean, that right there, if you don't see the difference, like if you don't see the you know, the, what's the word I'm looking for, the, you know, the schedule, and that we're ahead of schedule compared to last year, I mean, that illustrates it. 3 games left to get to 9 wins, and we've got 9 games left to play.
Yeah,
chock full of bad inferior opponents. You know what I mean? So, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I think the last 3 games are going to be the toughest games of the season. To be honest, you got the Dallas Cowboys, you have the Ravens, and you have the Buffalo Bills. Those last 3 games is going to really be very tough. I would prefer to go into them not having to worry about them. That's why I want to take care of business for everybody else. You know what I mean? I'd rather those games we can start sitting players and just take it easy. In my opinion, I know that's not very popular with people, but it's just my opinion. With that being said, somebody asked, and I do want to talk about this real quick. After the Chiefs game, we're going into that Hard Knocks phase of our season where Hard Knocks will be on. We'll have the Miami Dolphins presented, right? And how will that affect us? Well, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. I understand people are concerned about that. And if we were a team like the Jets or some of these other teams, yeah, I could see why it's a big deal. But with us, if you really think about it, and actually look at what we do already, they're already used to the social media present part of it. They're already used to being talked about. They're already used to being watched. You think about the social media team that is always videotaping our players and having all the people and the media and everybody at all of our training camp sessions. You think about Tyreek Hill with Needed to Be Said, bringing on players, talking about situations and whatnot. Their life is already in the media. So what is just a couple more cameras in the background? I don't really think it affects us too much, bro. I think that they'll handle it very well. And I think it'll be a great show. I mean, to be honest, this is the fastest show on turf, right? That's what we're trying to say. That I mean, in my opinion,
The fruit of the Zoom, bro.
yeah, the
Come
fruit
on.
of the Zoom. Come on. I mean, shit. The Miami Dolphins need to hire the Mazda boy from the old Mazda commercials, Zoom Zoom.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Zoom, right.
That's right. They need to go hire that kid, right? Or now he'd be an adult or whatever. But my point is
Or a
that
gaggle of grapes driving a Mazda. That'd be cool.
my point is that I don't think it should affect us too much because think about all the personalities we have on this team. They already live their life in the media 24/7, even McDaniel included in that. The only thing insight it would maybe give us more is more around the people that are quieter, such as Chris Greer. You know, maybe more around our owner. You know what I mean? Those types of things.
I got you, Ollie. I'm just worried about that. I'm worried about the dudes that aren't in the limelight like that, the lesser grade players that they don't necessarily need that distraction, man. They ain't used to having people follow them around like that, bro. Like we got 53 guys, not all of them are Tyreek Hill. You know what I mean?
But Color, think about it this though. Do you think if I know for a fact that Tyreek Hill, Christian Wilkins, Zach Seiler, Javon Holland, Jalen Waddle, even Tua, right, or Mike McDaniel, that's where the gold is at. as a TV producer, that's where the gold is at, right? Why would I want to follow someone that is really quieter and doesn't really speak very much? Do I really want to follow Eichenberg around, for example?
Well, I would, given how the Miami Dolphin fans treat him.
Okay.
I'd want to push that button. I'd want to see if I can make that break, bro, for good television. You know what I mean?
All I'm saying is that these guys, having Tyreek Hill here, having Mike McDaniel here, having the Jalen Ramsey here, and all these names, right? They already live in the limelight and media and have people following them and everything all the time. Think about it. We know more about the Miami Dolphins, what they do now today, than they did back when we were on Hard Knocks way back when we had Joe Philbin. You know what I mean? We already had it. I mean, it's no. All I'm saying is I'm not going to let this affect what I do this season. I don't think it has any effect. That's just my opinion.
Well, look, I know the players are going to do their best to compartmentalize it all, and they'd like to believe it don't matter. But it's really just, I know I'm being obtuse, I guess. It's really just the distraction, bro. Like, I've never known a team to even have positive distractions that made it all the way to the Super Bowl and won.
Yep, I hear
like,
you.
even positive distractions, bro. Call me an old fuddy dud, I guess. I don't know, man. Maybe I just hate having fun. I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. I I used to think the same way as you did. But we're in a different paradigm now. We're a different team. I don't think something like this would trip our team up. I think we're too talented, too efficient, and too lethal to allow that to happen. You know what I mean? As a team. You know what I'm saying? We're not some comedy show that you would call a la the New York Jets or something. And the only reason I'm going to put the Bills in this this category is because, like Bills fashion, it would take something crazy to happen for their whole season to falter, like 13 seconds that it took for them to lose the game. You know what I'm saying? Something to that effect, or the fact that they did something that we couldn't do against the Patriots, and that was lose to a team that literally has no offense.
Right.
In my opinion. So my point is that I don't think we would allow social media to get the best of us, since we already live in it so much today. And then I know TV is different than social media, but what I'm trying to say is that they already used to with having cameras and people listening and people typing away about things they said and saw in pictures that are coming out of nowhere, that I don't really think it would bother them too much, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, just think of it like this. Again, I harken back to the other players that aren't able to compartmentalize this kind of stuff. The ones that do lead a private life. I mean, look, even Tua himself doesn't put himself in the limelight, bro. You know, I mean, and so what I'm getting at is, like, rewind the clock 2 years and then bring Hard Knocks in. You think with what was going on in the locker room with Tua and all that wouldn't have just exacerbated the situation, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, how long is it going to be before Tua has a bad game and then all of a sudden nobody wants the Hard Knocks people in the building? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely know what you're saying. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is currently 8:20 a.m. I gotta go to work. But I want to say thank you for coming to hang out with us. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Color, you got any final words for everybody?
I do not. It is a gorgeous Tuesday with clear skies, man. I'm just going to enjoy it and relax today. I suggest everybody do the same. Nice and cool out this morning, too.
It is definitely cool out, definitely. Currently right now in Miami it's 79 degrees is what I found out. Not sure what it is here currently, but yeah, make sure you guys hit like and subscribe. We appreciate you all. But we'll be back tomorrow morning. We'll talk about any trades that went down. We'll definitely talk about that, and we'll talk more about this upcoming game in Germany. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, turn on the notification bell. And with that being said, fins up, everyone. We're out.